everybody, welcome back. So today I'm doing a review of The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. This is book 1 of the Mistborn series. This is the Era 1. I'm kind of rereading this series with my kids right now, so I thought it would be good to do a review of the first book. So The Final Empire was kind of my first introduction to Brandon Sanderson. I was reading The Wheel of Time, and obviously after Robert Jordan died, Brandon Sanderson was the one who finished that series. And so when I found out he was going to finish it, I decided I needed to read something by him to see what I thought of him as an author. So this was my introduction to him. The premise of Final Empire was that what happens when the bad guy wins? What happens when the hero goes to save the world and he fails? And so this is a dark, bleak world. There is ash falling from the sky at all times. It's dark. There's very few plants that are capable of living in this world. And life is pretty bleak for most people. There is quite a hierarchy. There is the nobility, and obviously there's different levels within the nobility, and these are the people who kind of rule. The Lord Ruler has given them certain capabilities of ruling over what is called the Ska, or the slaves, and they're all under the Lord Ruler. And he is not a nice person. He likes to kill people. He likes to make people live in fear. In the first book, we follow a group of rebels who are going to overthrow the Lord Ruler. They feel like he has been in power long enough, and they want to destroy him, and because he is evil and the world that he has created is a horrible, bleak place. So the way that they go about doing this is they have certain people on their crew who are children of nobility. They are mostly Ska, but now the rule is that if you have relationships with a Ska person, you are supposed to kill that person so that no children can be born, because only the nobility have I guess you would say, they are the ones who possess the abilities of Mistborn and Misting. And the magic system in this world is based off of the consumption of metals. You can either have one ability, which makes you a Misting, or you can have all abilities, which make you a Mistborn. The abilities you get depend on the metal. Certain metals make you stronger. Some metals make you heal faster. Some metals, I would say they kind of let you fly, but there's a certain physics involved with that, as in you can push on pieces of metal and it will push you away from them. So if you put a piece of metal on the ground, you can push up, you can go straight up, but then you have to pull on a different metal to go in a different direction. So there's all these kind of different abilities that you can have that you get from the consumption of these metals, and this group of rebels has several of these Mistings and a couple of Mistborn in there, and so they're gonna go destroy the Lord Ruler. So our main characters are Kelsier, and he is a Mistborn, and he is kind of the leader of the band, and he hates the Lord Ruler, hates everything about the Final Empire, wants to see a better world. He has found this Ska girl named Ven, who they discover is also a Mistborn, and they are using her. They are teaching her how to trust. They're teaching her how to live in a world where maybe she doesn't have to be afraid anymore, because she has been part of a thieving crew and has been abused in her entire life. And then there's also Sazid, and he also has a type of magic, but it's different than the Mistborn. He's a Feruchemist, and Feruchemy it's also based on metals, but he wears bands on his arms that allow him to store and use different abilities. For instance, he can spend a certain amount of time weak and enfeebled to save up health so that when he's injured, he can heal himself. So we have these kind of like two different types of magic in this world. And we're following this group who is trying to make the world a better place. Now, overall, I thought this book was really amazing. It was a kind of a new idea. What do you do when the bad guy wins? What kind of world is created? And it's also like a heist. These guys are out to get something very valuable from the Lord Ruler and to remove him from power. And they're thieving, and their plan is really intricate. A lot of things go wrong, and when things go wrong, they say, okay, well, we can either give up or we can keep going. And then they have to find the part of themselves that feels like it's like what they're doing is important, and that what they're doing has purpose and meaning, and that even though they failed in this one aspect, maybe they can still make a difference. Maybe they can still do something. Maybe they can still defeat the Lord Ruler. That's kind of my overview. That's my review of The Final Empire. I thought this was a great book. I actually think the whole series is really great. I know some people did not like the ending of the last book, but I actually didn't mind it. I gave this book obviously full marks. I thought it was great. And it was my introduction to Brandon Sanderson, and I've learned since that he writes a lot of books that are really great and intriguing. And he has this way of like writing to where almost at the end of like every chapter, you just have to keep going because he's left it at such a place where like, no, like I have to know what happened next. And my kids are at the age where they're starting to enjoy it. And I would say, for kids who are getting past kind of the middle grade books, Fablehaven or 11 Thumps or those kind of things, it's a kind of a great next step as far as introduction to fantasy and what kind of stuff's out there. So that's my video. Thanks everybody for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe.